Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome back to our breakfast show. Here, myself included, Neil and Jose are happy to be here yet again this morning with you. And it seems like nothing is stopping this bull market. So, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Jose. How are you today? Yeah. I'm keeping him muted because technically I don't care.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm doing pretty good. I mean, like you mentioned, pretty green market right now, so pretty excited for the day to open up. But yeah, I mean, good morning to everybody. Feel free to get any questions in. And yeah.
This morning, let me just share the screen so we know what's going on
And
around the world.
let's just say good morning to everybody. The I love, good morning. Slim Futures, good morning. We got hey from Aaron. Good morning from No. Okay, I'm ready. We have Joseph with some coffee here. We're making hella dollars from Realist. Good morning from Smoky Duck. And so many more that I might have missed. But good morning to everybody, and thanks for everybody watching the stream.
We have a lull here. So European markets, as you can see, those markets are already open. So we're green here across the board. Germany, FTSE, the stock 600. Everything is green already in Europe, in Asia. Same pattern there, green across the board. In the United States right now, pre-market, the Dow Jones is up 0.65%, S&P 0.79, so let's call it 0.8. The Nasdaq up over 8%, oil down 3.75%. At the moment, the 10-year is still at 4.34%. I actually want to look at it real quick just to see where we were. Let's see, year to date. We are still lower than the start of the year, and it seems like we might have peaked here at 4.6 or so at the end of May. But still a long way to go. But okay, interesting to see that. So it seems like we can continue our bull run, right? We can continue. Nasdaq making its way, I guess, closing in that on that 20,000. S&P back above 6,000. Dow 42,500. So we're definitely continuing this bull market, and that's without any rate cuts, right? That's without any rate cuts. Nasdaq all-time highs was back the start of this, the end of the year, just over 20,174. So we are making we are making our way back up. All of it without any rate cuts. So
Mhm.
that's quite interesting, quite
Yeah,
interesting, and could be quite positive.
a few things. We did see kind of. I was just looking at some of our individual stocks. AMD is kind of killing it again here, up nearly 2% pre-market. Nvidia's up about 1% pre-market. Let's see, Micron Technologies up about 3% pre-market. I don't know if SK Hynix did something yesterday. I thought I was seeing a lot of tweets last night about SK Hynix. I'm not sure if there are some bullish sentiment from SK Hynix that is might be pushing um, Micron a little bit bullish, but overall super excited. And there were some interesting news I saw, Neil, for oh yeah, SK Hynix to build new chip packaging plant in South Korea. Shares jump 8%. So I mean, if they're building, it means they just have too much demand, and I'm guessing it could trickle down to Micron technology as well, right?
Yeah, no,
Um,
for sure. I mean, good information from, I'd say, still the market leader is probably good information from, I would call them second player right now, maybe joint second player with Samsung. I did also see an article pop up about Samsung beating maybe TSMC, but for the 2 nanometer nodes, but we'll see. That's just one article that I've seen. So no, it's definitely positive. It seems like a lot of our stocks that we follow are up this morning. I mean, even HIMS, I think, is up a little bit right now, pre-market up 2% after being down 34%
that was
yesterday.
wild, yeah.
Yeah, we have some comments here on HIMS. What are your thoughts on the validity of the HIMS accusations? HIMS CEO made a post debunking it. Actually, made a post not debunking anything. He just said that it's. He didn't debunk it. He didn't even address the Chinese claims that Novo Nordisk made. He just said some things that he basically said he didn't agree. But don't agree with something does not mean that you are debunking anything. And that's why we're seeing also quite a lot of analysts rethinking it right now, because if this thing does go to court, if this does continue, of course, this is absolute brand damage for something like HIMS. Now, of course, you can take the other side of it and say, oh, maybe Novo Nordisk is just scared of HIMS. But don't forget, Novo Nordisk is a gigantic company, and they don't want their own reputation to be damaged by false accusations. So it's just a wait and see. I don't know. You don't make these types of statements if you don't have anything to back it up with, right? These aren't saying, oh, they mispriced their product. No, these are real accusations that can destroy a brand, basically. I'm not saying it's going to
And,
happen.
mhm. And to me, Neil, one of the biggest things is it was another company saying it, another public company. Normally, you get kind of like these thoughts from short reports where you have analysts or
It's
something
a
something to
partner.
gain out of it. Yeah, this is a partner, so that's it. Not even I mean, a partner, not even a true competitor. I guess there may be some aspects I don't follow it too much, but I think being another public company saying this is adds a little bit more weight than if it was just some random analyst or some random short report.
Yeah, no, like Robert says here, I agree. Him CEO didn't debunk it; he just said his opinion, which of course is what a CEO should be doing. But a lot of times when we get, but this is to your case, if we do get a short seller report, usually the response from the company, well, goes against what the short seller report has to say. It's not, oh, in our opinion, that's not true. Okay, if it's not true, then actually show us why it's not true. It's um, sharing an opinion when you get such a statement, and in this case, by Novo Nordisk, which is a huge player in the market, plus your ex-partner. I guess the response has been weak, but yeah, down 34%. Again, if this thing does get worse, I won't be surprised if we go down even lower, right? Because this is huge damage to a company. But like I said yesterday, you didn't invest in HIMS because of the GLP product. You invested in HIMS because of the HIMS platform. That said, if your name gets damaged and dragged through the mud, then your platform is being dragged through the mud as well. So it's just a wait and see to me. It's like if even if I were a shareholder right now of HIMS, By the way, you would still be up 70% year to date. Just so we're clear, you would still be up 90% over the past 12 months. Even if I were a shareholder, I wouldn't jump the gun and say, oh, I have to add right now because we're down. No, you would like to learn a little bit more about how this situation does evolve, because things can get ugly real quick.
Yeah, Neil, and again, I just want to trickle down that being another public company as well, if you kind of make false claims, um, it could trickle back on you if you did make those false claims, right? So that's why I don't follow this industry, but if in the semiconductor industry there was a public figure that I respected. I don't know how respected Nova is in the overall. Again, I don't follow that industry, but if a respected semiconductor CEO and company said something like this about a partner, I would take a lot more weight than just some random accusation coming from an analyst itself.
Yeah, I mean, imagine Nvidia saying things about SMCI when SMCI was almost delisted, and all of the things at the company there was going on. Imagine if Jensen came out and said, actually, yeah, we have found actually evidence that there's some shady business going on there. For sure, this would not have lasted long for SMCI. To go back to HIMS real quick here, Michael said 14 other verticals, this FUD will blow over. It's not FUD, right? FUD is just, ooh, scary, danger, whatever. This is not FUD. And again, if this is right, all of the other 14 verticals, while they might be okay, it's the overall brand that gets damaged here. Because if HIMS did do things that they should not have been doing, if this is truly damaging clients, people's health, then you can forget about the 14 other verticals here. I think that's quite clear.
Um, so I don't know. Little sick here. My apologies there, Neil.
You choked.
There was a comment here. There we go. That's the one I wanted to jump into. You can take it though, Neil.
Martin asks here, I have a 7% Uber stake. A friend said Waymo might use Google Maps to compete. I'm pretty sure Waymo does use Google Maps, right? It makes sense since it's under Google. I know they partner now, Waymo and Uber, but will it last? Aren't they expanding without Uber in some cities? This changes my Uber view. They are expanding in other cities without Uber, but they're expanding in other cities with Uber, which they actually announced it this morning, or maybe
Yeah, the
last
one
night.
Atlanta, I think. All right. I saw you
Yeah.
retweet it.
The A is going autonomous. Way more rides are now live in Atlanta. Only on Uber. Increase your chances of getting matched. Open the Uber app, go to settings, and toggle Waymo. So they are, of course, expanding with Uber. They're also expanding without Uber, just with Waymo One. They're trying out new things. This is basically the huge geofenced area, which I assume is where most of the Uber rides happen anyway. So it makes sense for them. So yeah, to me, of course, Waymo can try both ways, right? With Uber, with Waymo. For now, what we've seen, especially in Austin, is that with Uber, the results are much better than expected, which is very bullish, of course. On that note, I also have more
And
news.
and Neil, I mean, I think it's smart for Google at the moment to try both things. It's as any company, you want to collect as much data as possible, right? You want to see which one is the better results. So I would have expected early on for them to try one their own services and two Uber services, and then they'll be able to compare which one has the better results, which one has more riders taking rides. If there's a difference in profitability, in how many times maybe the Waymo itself is not being active versus in the Uber platform. So I think right now it's the data collection. But we do know that Uber has kind of this massive ecosystem that can actually be used for more than just rides, and eventually maybe some of these Waymos can kind of enter those other solutions as well. So I still think Waymo's going to end up choosing the Uber platform or a platform similar to that, just because of the massive marketplace that Uber has created.
Yeah, and to continue on the Uber side of things, we have here Volkswagen will offer its robotaxis to ride-hailing companies. So Volkswagen recently partnered with Uber. Again, we keep talking about the same thing again and again, and it's quite clear that Uber becomes a platform here. Recently partnered with Uber to launch a fleet of autonomous ID bus robotaxis in this US city in 2026. So this is basically the Volkswagen van. So let me zoom in a little bit more. Where is this? With the ID Buzz AD, future technology becomes market ready by combining vehicle and software into a fully autonomous solution. By the way, Volkswagen is partnering up with Mobileye, which is part of Intel. So they're bundling their technological expertise with their clear focus on AI. Our goal is to create intelligent mobility solutions that can be deployed across Europe and worldwide. The first US customer for the autonomous ID bus has been known for some time, with Uber set to bring an ID bus fleet to Los Angeles starting 2026. So quite exciting times ahead for the autonomous mobility market, I'd say. And here is another example of how Uber stays in the race, because this is just one other huge company, right? This is Volkswagen. We've had Waymo, we have May Mobility, we have WeRide, I think AV Ride from Nebius as well. So they're definitely partnering up with some big players. Now I know what people are going to say. Oh, but look at the car. Look at this, lots of cameras, LiDAR, radar. This costs quite a lot of money to make, just like a Waymo, etc., etc. So I'll repeat the same thing again and again. Uber sells you a service, okay? Waymo sells you a service. Waymo does not sell you a car. Right now, what we're getting here is a service. And the service will cost what the service will cost, right? Just like your Uber ride, if there is a lot of demand and not that much supply, your ride will probably cost you more than when you're taking it at 3 a.m. on a random Tuesday, right? On a random Tuesday at 3 a.m., probably you're not going to pay that much. But on New Year's, you're probably going to pay a huge premium because there is just so much demand. It's the same thing here, just it's just that with autonomous vehicles, you can, of course, increase the supply a lot more. If you increase the supply a lot more, of course, the price will come down. But as even Uber has said it, but as we've seen with other payments company, you will make up the difference through volume, right? Instead of having 1,000 rides, you will have 10,000 rides. So it doesn't matter if it's a little bit less per ride. You just have suddenly 10x more rides, which is how you'll make a lot more money.
Yeah, agree, Neil. And just kind of talking back into the Google Waymo using its own app or kind of Uber app. I think in the future, one of the things is obviously Google has a massive ecosystem, but there are a lot of Apple users that might prefer kind of using whatever type of Uber ecosystem or Lyft or whatever. So I think Google and Waymo are not going to try to alienate everybody by creating some form of application. I think for them the best move is to end up using some form of ride hailing system. Same how we're seeing here with Volkswagen.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think you have a super chat here, but it seems like you are sneezing or something. But go
Yeah.
ahead. This is
So,
yours.
nah, saving that. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Are people sleeping on Micron? Um, I don't. I mean, I think Micron has a lot of tailwinds, right? Neil, we've talked about it. A lot of data center money spending dramatically. HBM3E, HBM4. Then we're seeing a lot of things like low power memory that's being used in different types of AI servers as well, which Micron is definitely benefiting from. The consumer market is also seems to be picking back up. I was listening to an AMD call yesterday, Neil. I forgot what was the call I was listening to, but it was a presentation from like about a month ago after their earnings. I forget what was the conference, but they mentioned that one thing that they're seeing is their gaming consoles and some of the consumer stuff are picking up here in quarter two due to the holiday season, something that we talked about yesterday. right, where I mentioned that memory chips tend to sell a little bit earlier before the holiday season, just as these companies start to create the end product. So it does seem like the consumer market might actually be pretty strong for Micron in earnings. The only thing is, it is a very volatile stock, and it is very dependent on the top of the cycle. And usually PEGs and stuff like that tend to look a little bit cheaper when we're closer to the top than maybe the bottom. Usually at the bottom, things look pretty ugly. But at least at the moment, Neil, there is a lot of tailwinds: robotics, autonomous vehicles, drones, any type of industrial robots, any type of consumer robots. And AI servers, GPUs, AI accelerators, CPUs. You're seeing now kind of like all these kinds of products include memory on the chip itself. So it's becoming a lot of needs for those that continue to innovate.
And Joseph, here is the price earnings to growth still that low after its huge run up the past few months? That's crazy. Don't forget that even if the stock does go up, the PEG can still be low, depending on what the analysts are suddenly saying. So right now, yeah, it does seem like currently for the next 12 months, the PEG ratio is still extremely low. But yeah, I mean the company did drop, almost doubled, right, since the April lows. So it was probably even lower back then. But I do think that some analysts have already revised their estimates on the upside, and so stock can go up. But if the revisions are going up quite quickly as well, then it stays the same. Of course, now that we're going into the next earnings call commentary, things can change quite rapidly. Like I said previously, and we talked about that. I mean, the fact that the stock has run up so much, you go into this earnings report where high expectations, right? Much higher than if the stock was under $100 right now. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be an interesting one because one, we know from Nvidia, from AMD, from everybody that is using HBM and memory, we know that there is just a lot of demand, right? We know there is a lot of demand, and we know that all of them are using more memory in their next products as well, which should be a good thing for SK Hynix, for Micron, and Samsung as well. So we know that from that side of it, it should be fine. The HBM side. It's the other side that might still be struggling.
Which still drives a nice amount of revenue
Yep.
for Micron. But the great thing is, when both turn on, it would be a massive tailwind for revenue growth.
Let me maybe show them on fiscal AI what we mean about the difference in
And
seconds.
while you're looking at that, Neil, I see Jose. If you could buy, let me see. This is a weird one. I just saw my name. One bad LX. Jose, if you could buy only one stock for the next 10 years, what would it be? If I can only buy one stock for the next 10 years, I would just pick a semiconductor ETF. If I could pick an ETF, that's it. That's all I would want in my portfolio. Neil, any thoughts here? If you can only buy one stock, and I'll make it easy. It could be an ETF.
No, but he asked for a stock, so you can remove your ETF and you have to pick
Oh
something
man, if
else.
I pick a stock, I think the weird thing with me, not the weird thing, the interesting thing about my
One
portfolio
of the
is
weird things.
um I have a lot of tech companies, and tech companies are not ones that you can hold, in my opinion, for 10 years and just sit around. You have to understand how this technology is evolving. I mean, the perfect example is Intel, once the beast, and in the decade it was destroyed. AMD once a loser, and in a decade it became a beast. So in the technology aspect of my investment thesis, I don't think I can choose an individual company because it's innovating at such rapid levels that in 4 or 5 years, major changes can happen with things like leadership, technology, the direction that they went. So I'm gonna stick with my ETF. If I had to choose a boring company, I don't know. I don't think I can. I don't think I can sleep in my style of portfolio. I don't think I can sleep with one company for the next 10 years.
So if I gifted you Google for the next 10 years, you would not take it?
That's a whole different. Like, I got free money from you. From here, that question is if I can only continue the dollar cost average. So any any new money that I have to be putting in has to be in that one stock. Now you're giving me free money. If you gave me Google, I would never say no. Go ahead, Neil. I know you're rich out there.
I'm not an Nvidia millionaire like Martin. Martin is probably going to join us 30 minutes or so. If I had to choose one, I mean, at these prices, it's for 10 years, and I can't touch anything other than DCA. If that was the question, right? Can't touch, only DCA. So
Yep. And
I'd
that's it. That's the
probably
only one.
no,
Did I
because
read the
I'm
question? I'm overthinking now. Yeah, go
no,
ahead.
I think it's that. I mean, I'm thinking about, of course, Google for sure, or I'm thinking about something that could crush it, like crush the market, like one of I don't know, a SoFi or a D-Local or something like that, much smaller. But of course, with not even with those stocks. I'll take the Google stock as a gift. I mean, if things continue like this, both of us will get 2 membership gifted to us by Ariel by the end of the year. It's funny that he's not joining our streams anymore since AMD is up so much, but he does have a position, so that's fine. So I think I'll take Google, but I wouldn't mind taking a SoFi, for example, for 10 years.
If I had
Or
to, it would be one of the big tech players, Neil. I like someone. I mean, obviously, the question came in right off the blue, so didn't have much time to think. But Robert makes a great point. Google and Microsoft both do have diversified enough income streams. I think I would choose Google over Microsoft any day of the week, except on Saturday and Sunday because I can't buy stocks then, so it doesn't matter.
for now.
But for now,
Yeah, so I think I'll stick with Google just because I cannot
10
touch it.
years quantum stocks. That's my answer.
Actually, now that you're saying it, maybe Rigetti might be a good might be a good idea, right? Or Navitas, right? That's also, I think, a smart play at 1,000 times sales right now. I don't know how much it is, but it's it's definitely up there. Definitely up there. Yeah. Also, I mean, with those questions, right? We can only choose one. We love a lot. We can only choose one. But yeah, going back to Micron, we're here on fiscal.ai, good partner of our channel. So this is basically Micron's business segment. Jose, you were saying something about the overall business.
Yeah, I was saying something like the consumer business, I think, is right now not driving as much growth as kind of like their server business and all that. So you can kind of see like the mobile business is pretty weak right now. And in the mobile space, obviously a lot of phone stuff. In the compute, unfortunately, you do have a little bit of mixture of kind of laptops and servers. You are seeing growth there, but in the compute itself, I wish they would have broke it down a little bit more, right, Neil, to give us maybe a breakdown of compute in consumer and compute in server space. In the compute laptop market, not many people are buying laptops, not many people are buying tablets and stuff like that. And I do believe eventually that will be a tailwind. And I think these two tailwinds of AI servers, Neil, and AI PCs, AI phones, whatever, are going to happen at very similar times. So not similar, at least in the time when they're both going to be doing it together. And I think that's going to be a massive, massive tailwind for this company. And I do believe we're going to continue to see some nice, strong revenue growth on a year-over-year basis. Again, mainly because of that HBM solution.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at the difference, right, for this segment, the mobile one, it peaked. Of course, again, those things are cyclical business and industries. But this is almost, what is it, a billion difference, right? This is a billion difference here, a billion difference there. I mean, if you can grab 1 billion here, 1 billion there, that's quite a lot of money that suddenly comes in while you continue to grow the side of the business that has been growing extremely quickly over the last couple of quarters and is still expected to grow quite a lot for many years. I can actually, I don't want to look at. what they've told us a month or so ago. So let's see. So HBM revenue exceeded $1 billion already last quarter, on track to double that rate. So here again, $1 billion extra just from one specific segment, and that's the segment, of course, that is growing extremely
This
rapidly.
is probably, not gonna lie, Neil, one of my favorite things, because you have so many conferences happening in this industry. There are certain companies that I get bored and I don't want to read the whole transcript. The AI summaries again talk about the tariffs impact, about U.S. manufacturing expansion, and not even have to search. So a lot of companies in the semiconductor industry, unfortunately, I can't read all the transcripts. These AI summaries go a long way.
Yeah, and all of that, of course, available on fiscal.ai. You'll get 15% off. And if you're a new user, you'll get 2 weeks for free of Fiscal AI Pro for 2 weeks. So do check them out. Links are down in the description. There was, I think, another question that I wanted to touch on. Exactly. Up, down, up, down. I can maybe play around with this one. Top to buy now, but maybe we should like add a little thing. We cannot say Google. You cannot say Nvidia.
Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Top 5 to buy now. I can't say Nvidia, and I can't say Google either.
No, let's do
All right.
let's do. Both of us cannot say Nvidia and Google.
All right, so that's fine. I think I really do enjoy in the AI space right now Marvell Technologies. I think Marvell Technologies is one that the stock has dropped a nice amount and has a growth opportunity with things like ASIC solutions. So this would be kind of my AI exposure into AI semiconductors. I might also pick up another one after this, but am I doing all 5, or can we go back and forth, Neil?
No, you can do all 5. You can. I mean, I wanted to even say you have to diversify a bit.
I have to diversify. All right, Uber is another one that I would put to kind of diversify outside of the semiconductor industry. So I have Uber, I have Marvell. I got to go back into. Oh my God! I need some help here. Let me look at my portfolio real quick. Sometimes I forget. Oh, I like GitLab for the software space. So there we have. I have 3. I have semiconductor. I have Uber for consumer preference. I have GitLab for software. I'm going to go back into the semiconductor space, Neil, and add AMD. I think this one is a multi-bagger, so that's number 4. Number 5, maybe I would play with the Max 7. Let me see. Before I mention it, let me just look at my overall portfolio really quick. And I can't pick an ETF, right?
No.
No
Because
ETF.
then
You're
you're
bored.
taking
Okay.
everything else.
All right. So I think just to play into the Max 7 space, I would put Amazon. Even though I don't own it in my portfolio, I wouldn't mind in the top 5.
Okay, so now I cannot pick those names either, by the way. So no
Oh
Amazon,
wow,
no Uber,
I messed it
no
up for
Uber
you.
for
That's
me.
great. No AMD.
No AMD either. So should I take Intel just for the fun of it? Just for the fun of it. Okay, so fintech space, because if I take one, like if I take SoFi, I cannot take PayPal anymore. Although they are different. They are different. Like you took Marvell and AMD, so I can technically take SoFi and PayPal, or dLocal and PayPal. Okay, let me just go with the semiconductor first. I take Micron.
Micron, I do it.
Yeah,
Easy. You're
I'll take
so
Micron.
predictable.
I'll take United Health. Surprise, surprise. I'll take United Health at $300
Oh wow.
right now. Yeah, I'll take it. I bought some shares yesterday.
Nice,
Some
nice.
we'll see. We'll see if it works out or not. Very, very small position. So Micron, United Health, I'd still take PayPal for sure. I take PayPal for sure. And then if I have to like the biggest difference, if I can pick SoFi or the local, I'd probably still pick. I'd, yeah, because it's not similar at all. I think SoFi is different. So I'd still pick SoFi, PayPal, Micron, United Health, and then maybe I'll surprise some people here, with another maybe contrarian, or not contrarian, because there is another Max 7 name that I can pick that you didn't block. So I think I'll go. It's either Alibaba or Meta.
Alibaba or Meta? Nice. Yeah, I mean, I could see. I know you like to. I no no. I know you're into the kind of space style investments. None of those catch your attention at the moment,
No, because we're saying right now, which means, of course,
based
I'd
on
be
current
interested.
prices
Yeah,
valuation.
yeah,
Yeah.
like Rocket Lab, $32.
Mm,
I don't know if I want to buy it right now because
yeah.
it went up
Yeah.
tremendously. So
Yeah,
um,
I don't follow them, so I didn't know how were their price
yeah.
actions at the moment.
So that's why I'm also not picking some other names that went up like 100% or so in the last 2-3 weeks. So yeah, to me, Micron, PayPal, SoFi, United Health, and then I don't know. Meta is at 700 again, but it's still Meta. It's still an amazing thing. But you know what? Screw it. I'm already taking some contrarian things here. So let's put Alibaba in that
Add that
bucket as
list.
well. In that bucket as well. We're back at
Yeah.
113, which is also crazy for Alibaba. So those are the names. And for those that missed the part before, we cannot choose Google or Nvidia. I cannot choose what Jose has chosen, which is why
Joseph.
there is no
It's even
there is
hard.
no
Yeah.
other. Yeah.
So why is Nvidia? We got a lot of questions from this, Neil.
Hmm.
So I'm pretty happy. So Yusuf here, why is Nvidia stuck in a range it's been trying so hard to be 145? Um, I don't know. I wish I knew. I would say maybe one of the most common answers that I keep hearing, Neil, is just back then when it hit 145, multiples had expanded dramatically. I think I don't know if you can pull it up real quick. Neil, forward price to sales ratio of Nvidia on Fisco. I think about a year ago when they started to really hit that 145, forward price to sales ratio was typically around 30. I think it was trading at 30, maybe even 30 plus. Now it has kind of pulled down a lot more. If I recall, it's probably in the high teens now. So here, I'm pretty cool. You can go to go to financials real quick, Neil. I like the chart itself. And then if you go to ratios, and yep, you look at. We'll look at. I want forward valuation if that's okay. Um, which is the one. Yep, and put forward price to sell. The PE didn't really change much, but the price to sell did. I mean, we can see it kind of jumped up, at least in July of 2024 to around like over 25. Um, I'm pretty sure if you put like yeah, add a line, graphing line, put both the average and the median. I like the median more. Um, so I mean, you can see it was trading at more heavier valuations. I do think now you do kind of give it a premium because it is a leader in the AI space. So for it to be trading under above that is okay. Because the AI market has completely expanded a lot of its solutions. It has increased its gross margins, its overall market share as well. So compared to historical levels, if we're looking at 10 years, I do believe it's okay to kind of trade above its normal range. Now, if you kind of what you did now, Neo, is kind of bring it a little bit closer to the time frame of this AI evolution. Even a little bit earlier, I think the AI evolution really started in the late 22, early 23. Now, if you look at the median, which I believe is better opposed to the mean, just because it kind of removes a lot of the outliers in forms of the calculation, you can see we're trading almost at near par levels. So now the stock was like, it got a little bit excited. Now we're back to average. Now I think I'm getting very excited about hitting 145. And it's a funny thing. I talked about, I did an AMD episode, and my wording obviously was meant to kind of grab someone's attention, but it was how I want AMD to hit $200 the right way. I wanted to hit it the right way, right? So this was one of my thought processes. It was valuations for AMD had ballooned like crazy compared to its normal. Now I think how Nvidia is going to hit 200 the right way is going to be very similar. Where now we're kind of over that multiple expansions, and now I can't see any headwinds from valuations, because back then the valuation was a concern outside of PE ratios. PE ratios always tend to trade very, very good. But out of all valuations now, Nvidia is starting to look a lot better. And I think the market is going to start to appreciate this a lot more once we start to see that massive ramp up of the Blackwell Ultra. And next year, the Vera Rubin, which is going to be a beast.
I mean, I don't know. To me, Nvidia is of course best in class, but 16 times sales should not be the norm, right? For a lot of other companies. But for
And
Nvidia, I mean,
And to me, Neil, I don't like. I agree. I don't think there should ever be a unique number for any company. What I tend to do more is just look at the average and see what it typically trades at, and I work around that. But I agree that 16 is very scary for a lot of companies. Even for Nvidia, theoretically, it should be scary. But to me, I like to look more at that overall median, and that's where I kind of look at through valuations, especially if it's more like 5+ years.
for sure. Actually, now that you talked about that, I do want to see AMD real quick for the same stuff. So you said forward price to sales. Let's do this. So of course, much less than Nvidia, which makes sense, right? Makes sense when you don't have the same margins, you don't have the same growth rates, and it makes sense. That's for the last 10 years, but let's also put it a bit closer to where we are right now.
Which one is this one, Neil?
AMD.
Oh, is there a way? We got. Oh yeah, we got a. I wonder if there's a way we can put like the if they can. We'll talk about it later. But yeah, this one is trading very. I mean, looking
Also,
at
same
this,
thing.
Neil, in 2024, you can see how it didn't hit $200 the right way. Now that's trading at what Nvidia's kind of valuation is at the moment, almost double what it's typical, more than double. It's medium.
Right.
Yeah, almost double its median thing. So I think stuff like this can sometimes. The question here is, this isn't great to time the top, right, Neil? I don't think valuations like this are great to time the top or the bottom, because the market can continue to be irrational for much longer. Right? I could have maybe one could call the top when the forward price to sales ratio of AMD hit like 12, but it still went to up to 14. The thing that I use this for is more to just determine my risk to reward value ratio. Oh, look, it's a lot higher than it's normal. My risk to reward ratio is not on my favor. And again, it doesn't. It's so weird because when I talk about something like this, it makes it seem like I'm saying I'm the ultimate bear on certain companies that are overvalued. I'm not. I believe the market can always continue to be rational. You can continue to see growth, but the valuation just isn't there in my favor if I want to buy at those levels.
Yeah, it does seem like AMD right now is trading at the average, the median, which is up a lot because of this period right here in 2024, and over the past 10 years, I assume it's a bit lower. Yeah, there was no E back then, so yeah, a bit lower than that. But I mean, it makes sense for AMD to start trading at higher price to sales if they can suddenly grow Nvidia style. I don't think they will. I don't think we will see 80% quarter over quarter growth anytime soon, right? But if they can suddenly show us like huge growth, Nvidia style, but less on steroids, I think
And
they
and
deserve to go back to the 10 times sales, for example.
and that's how I think about it, Neil. Right? I think you mentioned it. AMD right now is trading at its average valuations, but we're not getting an average AMD in the next year or two. We're getting an above average AMD. So it doesn't matter how it compares to Nvidia at the moment right now, because it's not trading at Nvidia valuations. It's trading at AMD average valuations. So now it's easier to compare 2 years from now AMD to current AMD valuations, and I think that's what gets me pretty excited. The next 2 years is definitely not going to be an average AMD 2 years.
Yeah, no, exactly. Michiel here is saying you guys should follow up on that prediction tomorrow. It's the prediction of our stock picks, or is it the prediction of Micron? Because if it's the stock picks, I don't think tomorrow is the best time to come back on the top 5 picks. Maybe a year from now would be a better thing. And yeah, I was also thinking about adding maybe Mercado Libre to the top 5. The only reason I chose Alibaba is just purely on the price that it's trading at right now. But if I could add a 6th, it's probably Mercado Libre is the one that I put in a portfolio to forget for a long time. We do have a pretty popular company.
I know tomorrow we do have Nvidia's. I wonder if that kind of prediction is. We do have Nvidia's investor meeting tomorrow. So I don't. I mean, usually these investor meetings, Leo, are just a lot of politics, voting on certain things. But I do believe in certain times they do have Q&A sessions. I think that if there is a Q&A session, that's the only part that should be interesting to most shareholders.
Yeah. Carnival Cruises reported. Apparently, that's a popular stock, it seems, in the chat right now. Could of course give us some information on consumer sentiment. I don't know. Let's see if the stock is moving a little bit right now. Stock is up 3%. So definitely, I guess there is some positive comments and positive results on Carnival Cruises. Have you been on a cruise, by the way?
Yeah, for my bachelor party, but that's about it. I don't know if I would do one now, unless it's like, I don't know. I become a little bit more. I hate being around people, so it has to be something where there's less people around. But I know that's a little bit more expensive.
You've heard it here first, folks.
I'm a family man now.
Let's see if I can pull it up real quick. In the meantime, someone asked me any guidance on United Health stock. Well, luckily, a month from now, we have the very important earnings report and earnings call where they will give us some guidance. So right now, to me, why I did open a position after talking about it for a while and after talking about Oscar Health and whatnot, it's purely because of risk reward wise, I think this thing can move up quite a lot more than what it can drop. It's a company worth, what is it still? I think less than 300. $272 billion, generating over $400 billion in revenue, lots of free cash flows. It's even if it gets hit business wise, I don't think it should get hit by 50% financials. So how much did I buy yesterday? I think I bought 10 shares for now, something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, 10 shares for now. So very, very small position for me right now. One that can maybe work out pretty well this year or so. Jose laughing at me. That's fine. I'm laughing at him as well.
Yeah, he laughs at me all the time. And I wasn't. This is just starting stuff. I was laughing at him saying I was laughing at him.
And I'm used to people laughing at me. It's fine. I'll be laughing in the end.
Wait, but I wasn't laughing at you, Neil. Yo, Tristan's starting drama. This is the end of the breakfast show. I am your host now. I am the captain.
For some reason, the cruise does not want to. Voila. So you don't like being on cruises because you don't like to be around people. Yeah, makes sense.
Too many people. Yeah. It gets
when
pretty,
you're stuck on a boat with them.
Yeah.
Not great, but it does seem like, record first quarter revenue, gross margin yields were 25% higher than 2024. Net yields 7.3% higher. So all good on that. Bookings here. Our brands are continuing to deliver on our strategy to generate sustained demand, even for further out sailings, with the vast majority of 2025 booked. So that's very important because even if there is a downturn, they're already booked right now. And most of the folks that do go on cruises will continue to go on cruises. That's something that I've followed for now a couple of years because the cruise lines have been something that I traded quite a lot. At the start of the pandemic, it was like those meme type of stocks that go up double just like that. But it does seem like cruise goers are some fanatic people. They love it. Like once they go on it, like they keep going each and every time. So I guess it's a good business. Good business, but then a debt heavy business as well, which all of the cruise players will have to pay over the next couple of years because they needed money throughout the pandemic since that business was basically dead um, back then. But it does seem like, I mean, they're probably going to share way more information during the earnings call, but so far this seems to be yet another good quarter, a good information to get from one of the big cruise lines. When I was in Miami, I actually went by because I think when you go from Miami to Miami Beach, you
Have you
go
gone
by
in one,
all.
Neil, or no?
No, because I was in Miami also 10 years ago or 11 years ago, and I wasn't 2021. Apparently, you have to be 2021 to go on a cruise because there is alcohol that's been served on that. I didn't know it, which was quite a disappointment because I already was in Miami and I wanted to go to the Bahamas on a cruise. And then I'm reading at least one has to be 21. I'm like, what the heck is this? But okay. Um, but now I actually went by, so that bridge, that road that leads you from Miami to Miami Beach, you go by all of them, and it's funny that all of them are one next to the other: Norwegian, Carnival, Royal Caribbean, even the other ones, like one next to the other. Huge facilities of all of the cruise lines there. Pretty impressive places.
Yeah, one of those that I'm gonna try is again super expensive, so I don't think I'll try it anytime soon. But those Viking tours, it's like
Vikings, yeah,
it's the luxury of tours of cruises, I hear. But
the river tours.
yeah, Achilles was to know if I'm purely a tech investor. I would say more than likely. There are certain times when I get outside the the tech investment world. Um, Most recently, no, though. I mean, I've had owned stocks like Celsius. I wouldn't mind owning like companies like on the shoes. Um, but more than likely, yes, I am more than purely a tech investor, and everything else can go kick rocks.
Yeah, I mean, I can say probably the same. Maybe I have some non-tech, but most of it is tech for sure. Cruise lines are the only stock you can own and actually get a perk from the company. I I know Carnival offer this if you have a certain amount of shares, but I don't
Oh
know
wow!
if that's still the same right now. Because back in 2020, I for sure saw it. Um, but right now I don't know if it's still the same or not. But yeah, definitely this was definitely a thing um, back then. So great.
Yeah, this used to be a thing for a lot of companies. I heard like for Disney, for Berkshire, for Ford, if you had X amount of shares, you used to get some form of perks. It's so sad that that's leaving the overall
Yeah,
industry now.
I think, yeah, with Disney, I think you got a certificate of a shareholder, Disney style. I don't think they do that anymore. Um, but yeah, uh, Alan here asks, Goedenavond. It's not yet evening, but maybe where you are, it is. Do you and Jose coordinate your t-shirts every morning? No, it's actually telepathy. We both like the dark side, so we wear black shirts.
Yeah, agree. But
Um,
maybe we should start coordinating because we're
yeah,
professionals like that. Not
I mean, I
amateur hour around here.
I did send you my background so we can be in the same room, but you didn't wanna.
I don't know.
You,
That's weird. Being in a fake imaginary AI constructed room. That's where I draw the line.
I mean, if you're already faking it, might as well fake it till we make it. um, Anyway, we have here breaking news. Powell emphasizes a Fed's obligation to prevent ongoing inflation problem despite Trump criticism. So the Fed chair on Tuesday, which is today, said he expects policymakers to stay on hold until they have a better handle on the impact tariffs will have on prices. The cautious tones could further antagonize President Trump, who has ramped up his long-standing criticism of Powell. Powell will present his speech along with the Fed's monetary policy report first to the House Financial Services Committee on Tuesday morning, then the Senate Banking Committee a day later. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much longer, how much more data he needs to see, because we've been basically flat for 6 months, I think, right now, and we've had plenty of data. Even data before the tariffs, data after the tariffs. So yeah, I don't know what he wants to see specifically here, but inflation was transitory a couple of years ago, which was clearly not the case, and now we might be also late. But I'm not the Fed chair, so I don't decide. Don't decide.
Don't be a backseat driver, right, Neil? Don't be a backseat driver.
We'll all be backseat drivers when autonomous vehicles become mainstream. So
All
maybe
right,
the Fed
enough with that joke, Neil.
maybe the Fed should be an AI. Should be
Yeah,
the
that might
best
be.
decision maker.
I feel like that. Yeah, I mean, isn't that probably pure data?
It
Hey,
is pure data. It is
yeah,
exactly
right.
that. It is pure data calculation, and you should get your answer.
We got a few questions here, Neil. I wouldn't mind kind of getting through. We have: would you sell some Nvidia to buy some AMD? I wouldn't. But that's because I still am adding a lot of money to my portfolio. Um, I'm still a net buyer on a weekly basis, right? My portfolio continues to grow. So any new money is more likely to go to AMD than to Nvidia at these prices. But I wouldn't let go of my Nvidia shares anytime soon. Hey, Lisa is in the house just when I was talking about AMD. You see?
We talk about AMD, and tuk, Lisa pops up. Good morning, Lisa. Hopefully, you're doing
How about you, Neil? I mean, I know you're not
an Nvidia
massive
shareholder.
shareholder. I thought you had one or two shares.
Yeah, 2 shares. No,
Every time we live stream, you get a live stream an Nvidia event, you get a share.
you
Would you
get
sell those shares to
who
bear?
who gives who
Well, you
gives
buy
me.
it. You buy it. uh,
Yeah, no, I have two shares, but yeah, go on. What's the question here?
it's the same question. Would you sell them to buy AMD?
I mean, what would I sell my 2 shares of Nvidia to buy 2 shares of
Two
AMD?
shares of yeah.
No, I'll keep my Nvidia shares just for the
It's two
sake of.
shares. Oh, I guess I froze. I might be frozen.
No, it's 2 shares. I know.
Frozen. I think I froze.
Maybe you
I
should
didn't hear
sing
your
the
answer.
Frozen
I think
song.
it's okay. It's okay. I don't think it was. Now let's move to the next question. Thoughts on SMCI bond news? We talked a little bit about this yesterday, Neil, when we saw it come out. The stock dropped about 10% yesterday after throughout this. Um, to me, it's just funny, Neil. If this was to have happened 2 years ago or even a year ago, the market would most likely have given this stock a nice valuation. As in the bullish sentiment is they're driving up cash. They need more debt to buy a lot more AI GPUs and build more AI servers. So that means that demand is crazy, crazy right now. And I think that's true with the Blackwell Ultra coming out. I think they just want to buy as much Blackwell Ultra as possible. It also could kind of be a good indication, Neil, of maybe the MI350 as well. Those are the two main players that Supermicro is kind of providing in forms of AI accelerator, mainly Nvidia though. But now the market seems to be punishing it for building up this cash through this bond. So it's either they don't, I don't know if they're not liking the idea of them building up the cash to buy more inventory, or the potential idea of dilution. Because obviously with senior notes, you do have the potential of dilution. Supermicro did kind of counteract. They are doing two individual things. First, they're doing kind of like cap call buys to help prevent some of the dilution happening. And outside of the cap calls, they're also individually buying about $200 million worth of shares to kind of help reduce any dilution concerns. Yet the market didn't like it, and they punished it about 10%. I'm not a fan of the AI server space, Neil. We've talked about this. Obviously there's massive tailwind in this industry. We hear it from AMD, we hear it from Nvidia, we hear it from all cloud server providers, that the demand for AI servers is still pretty strong, even though cloud server providers don't use Supermicro. But overall, there's a massive demand. I just think this market at this space is a little too competitive for my taste.
Yeah, it's a very low margin business, right? We've seen that across the board, very low margin business. Plus, with SMCI specifically, when you put, I mean, what did they say? 2026 revenue $40 billion, I think was the number they told us a quarter or two or so ago.
Yeah, I think it was around there.
Yeah, for 26, for this year, they started by saying 30. Now it's already closer to 26, I guess.
But one thing is their calendar year is a little bit different from their fiscal year. Neil, I think this quarter is, if I remember correctly, is already the beginning of their first quarter. Let me just see.
You sure it's not Q3 or Q4 right now?
So quarter four should actually end in about 6 days, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So where quarter one starts for them on July 1st. So I even though I'm not a Supermicro bull, I would say that shortness was definitely because Nvidia kind of missed the ball with the Blackwell, the ramp up process of the original Blackwell, and that's what they were expecting, a lot of revenue growth from the Blackwell. And we saw that many people decided not to buy the Hopper and just wait it out. Now, since this next year of their fiscal year is going to be starting in July 1st, we know July 1st, we're already seeing some shipments of the MI350s. We're also expected to start to see some shipments of the Blackwell Ultra. I think a lot of that growth is just going to be coming right here from this second half of this year for them.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, unless they
yes,
unless they guide down yet again. But yeah, it's definitely. I mean, if you look at the price to sales ratio and stuff like that, it doesn't make any sense, right? It's a company that's expected to generate so much revenue, and yet market cap is now 24 billion, and it's expected to generate around 24-25 billion dollars or so for the year. So your price to sales here is basically one for a company like that, or maybe a little bit less. Maybe a little bit less than one. So that's SMCI. I did want to touch really quick on the PayPal question right here. PayPal did get a little, not really an upgrade. I think the analyst put his price target right now at the same price that PayPal is trading at right now. Let me just make sure I can find it real quick. I think he initiated a position in PayPal today. Also talked a little bit about Block. Let's see if I can find it. When was it? Maybe last night. Let's see. Okay, so Piper Sandler initiates coverage on PayPal with neutral rating, $74 price target, which is basically where we're at right now. PayPal is currently in the midst of a strategic pivot with new management attempting to create a monetizable omnichannel commerce hub for its over 436 million accounts. So definitely quite a lot of people using PayPal. We are cautiously optimistic on management's ability to execute on this large opportunity, but doing so will likely require significant investment spent in the coming years that we expect to weigh on margins. Now, the funny thing is right now with PayPal is that margins, especially transaction margin dollars, are trending in the right direction. Revenue growth is slowing down. It's because they are focused now on the profitable side of the business. And so the analyst is basically already preparing for what's going to happen next. And what's going to happen next is growth is going to come back, and that might hit margins. Now, the problem right now with PayPal is that, it's a company that doesn't grow. It is growing 6-7% or so. And so if we are going to accelerate our growth, then what will the market say? Oh, it's now growing, but oh, margins are getting hit. So you will always have to play with both sides. But this is a company right now with great management that are doing exactly what it should be doing. And I will sound like a broken record, but I am predicting that this is a triple-digit stock. I would say bold prediction here: triple-digit stock exiting 2025. So you've heard it here first, folks. Actually, one extra thing on another fintech player,
I figured something else was coming.
and that's the infamous name-changing one, Square / Block / XQ / XYZ right now. They actually also got Piper Sandler to initiate coverage with an underweight rating, price target $50, so lower than where we're at right now for this company. The reason they give is why Block's valuation is depressed. It truly is. Relative to its historical average and peers, we think it is warranted given the persistent deceleration of Cash App user growth, basically zero growth for the last, I think, maybe 4 or 5 quarters or so, and mounting competition across business lines. We see headwinds to user growth for Square due to a maturation of upmarket customers as a percentage of Square's total volume and increasing competition from smaller point of sale competitors. I assume they're also talking here about Toast. So, yeah, Block mismanaged by Jack Dorsey, and I'll leave it at that before I go on a huge rant. But yeah, Toast, like Toast, Toast has been crushing it. This is one that I got completely wrong, but Toast has been crushing it. Bomb indeed, but it's more bomb for Jack Dorsey and Square, but then for me. But yes, Toast has been crushing it since the end of 2023. The stock has basically done 221%. So very good execution. I was surprised. Very good execution by Toast despite the mounting competition in those markets. But yeah, very good from them.
Let's see. We got some questions here, Neil, for you. We have Sibi here. Hey, Neil, have you made up your mind on United Health? I think you did, right? I think you made some purchases yesterday.
Yeah, bought 10 shares yesterday. So made up my mind to buy just 10 shares for now in
Is
in
this
United.
one? Are you planning on buying more, Neil, as more cash comes into the portfolio, or is this one that you're waiting out to see a little bit more before adding more?
It's one, if of course the stock before the next earnings report stays around 300 or so, and I have the cash available and I don't see any other opportunities, like maybe, for example, if Nebius suddenly does go under 40, I'd rather just go and increase my Nebius position than increase the United Health one. So right now, 10 shares, $3,000 for a play like this. I'm not planning on retiring on that position, but if I can make 50% this year already on that, I'll be happy. Should cover a lot of the other costs, but if it stays around that price and I have cash, I will probably add more.
And you talked about Nebius, Neil. If it drops, would this be one of those stocks that you'll be willing to sell to if you wanted to increase massively into your Nebius position?
Good question. Maybe, but I don't know. I like the value here. I like the value, so it will probably be an injection of cash if Nebius provides a good opportunity, a great opportunity.
And one final question here, Neil. Is this it's a play like this because you went maybe more growth heavy during the downturn and you're looking for more like a value play here, or what was kind of like on the top level overview, because this is a little bit different with some of the growth stocks you have in your portfolio. What was the process of this?
Very different. This is purely because of the sheer I mean, the massive reach and the massive business that it is, plus the fact that we are down, what is it? Still 50%. We're down 50% since April. It's not like they are now generating $200 billion, or that they're generating only $5 billion in free cash flow, or that margins have been slashed in half. No, it's true. There are some issues around that industry. The CEO has left, guidance has been thrown out of the window, so definitely some uncertainties. But I still think it's an overreaction. I like the risk reward here. The business does not seems to be, especially not with the recent commentary that I've seen. Insiders are buying shares as well. So you mix all of that together, and I see here a compelling case for quite some upside in the short term. Again, this is not going to be a company that I expect to own for the next 5 years or so. Actually, if I actually get my nice return this year, it's gone from the portfolio.
It's out of here. Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah. And do you do trades like or I mean, yeah, trades like that often, Neil, or stuff like this very rare for you? Only when you see certain massive downturns like this.
I like when the market overreacts. So a
Hmm.
similar one was probably Adian when it crashed 50%, because they said they're going to invest in their business, and that's why EBITDA margins are coming down. Of course, the stock was already expensive, but it dropped 50% and then took a couple of months, and it went up quite significantly. So I like these types of plays if there is an opportunity and if the company is a very strong company. Like if it's a shitco and it's down 50%, then good, it's down 50% can go down another 50% because it never made any sense. But if it's strong companies, then yeah, why not? Why not
Hmm.
take the opportunity to make a little bit of money in the short term?
Yeah, definitely. There was another question here for you. We talked about it in the past few episodes that this seems to be, yep, exactly. This seems to be kind of like at least a month or the quarter of stable coins.
Hmm.
So here, Sid, I mean, I don't follow PayPal, but don't they have their own stable coin as well? And don't
Yep.
they have kind of a infrastructure for that as well? So it could be, would it be more bullish to them than bearish?
Yeah, no, it's they have Pay USD, PayPal stablecoin. Um, how would that impact PayPal? It should positively impact PayPal if more and more payments are made through their stablecoin, for the simple reason that stablecoins can, of course, generate some revenue for you, can increase your margins as well. So it is definitely a positive thing for PayPal. The adoption just needs to increase more and more, and it has to be used throughout the whole PayPal ecosystem. We've talked a little bit about Fiserv yesterday, of course, with their announcement and their banks, and the announcement that they are also working with PayPal. And actually, we have another announcement this morning. MasterCard is teaming up with Fiserv to roll out FiUSD, their own stablecoin, across MasterCard's global network. The move will let customers and businesses use Fiserv's own stablecoin with over 150 million merchants worldwide. They'll also explore ways to help users move between fiat and the stablecoin, settle transactions in the token, issue stablecoin linked cards, and tap into MasterCard's multi token network. Both companies say this is about bringing stablecoins into everyday use. And remember, I think last 2 weeks, MasterCard and Visa have been under pressure because of this rise in stablecoin talk. But if you know MasterCard and Visa, you knew that they were not going to disappear. They were already working on some things, and yeah, here as well, it makes sense. Makes me wonder how big of an impact this can have on a company like Fiserv. Actually,
That's what I was just thinking about, Neil. And this is a stock. I mean, I don't follow this industry, so this is the first time I've heard of Fiserv. But the stock is down right now about 28% from its year-to-date high. And with this small rallies that I keep seeing with this news, and right now, I guess with this Mastercard news, it's up another 4%, but it's still massively down. A company less than $100 billion market cap. My question is here: is this stablecoin something that will create revenue growth right now, or is it something that it's like it's a massive tailwind for maybe 2 years out for a company like this, 2 3 years plus?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Circle, revenue has gone up significantly because rates went up. So if we're entering a rate cutting cycle, it's going to hit them. But I guess for a company like Mastercard, it doesn't change much. But for a company like Fiserv, yeah, I don't know what the agreements are going to be, right? Because it's different. It's a partnership here, so I don't know what the difference here is going to be. But I guess there's a reason why this stock is down 28%, like you said. So
Wonder if the excitement of Circle might push over to this one here. And I wonder if management. I mean, I feel like sometimes management and sees the hype in certain industries and they start to release all these press releases and use the right terms to get some excitement for the stock.
dLocal also announced a partnership involving stablecoins in the last hour. Yeah, I see he's right here. Cross-border payments in emerging markets face slow settlement and high cost with what is this? BVNK Finance, okay. We're turning stablecoin transfers into local payouts across 40 plus markets, fast, compliant, and at a scale. They've been making a couple of announcements more recently. They've expanded their regulatory portfolio in Turkey, the UAE, and the Philippines. So they've got some licenses there, which should lead to more GMV growth for them. But yeah, it seems like stablecoins are getting a lot more attention these days. And again, this is something that makes sense. And I'm quite happy that PayPal has positioned themselves as a company that could lead in this space if executed correctly. Let me share this again. Poof. Let's see what stock.
When is PayPal's earnings? Are you expecting a lot more stablecoin announcements during
I think we
earnings?
have time. I think it's only in August or something like that they report. So we have time for that. But yeah, maybe analysts are going to ask more questions about stablecoins now that it has become a topic of discussion for the majority of the fintech player, for sure, of the fintech players. Sorry. Wonder what the trade desk is doing back at $70. Interesting. Very
Interesting.
this one also this one also doubled quite. Basically, the amount of doubling that happened since the April lows is insane.
It's amazing.
Incredible.
I mean, just look at CoreWeave.
Yeah, I know.
Quadrupled.
Quadruple. I mean, look at Circle, just not even since April, since the last 2 weeks or so.
Yeah. CoreWeave helped fueled some of my Google buys yesterday. Let's see, what else do we have? We have Sid just sharing their overall AI list. Their AI list includes Nebius, Marvell. I'm not sure what the other one is.
Big Bear AI.
I nod. Not the one before that one. Not Big Bear AI. And CoreWeave. A couple of these are very volatile, like CoreWeave, so thread with caution. Yeah, I mean, the only ones I own from there are Marvell and CoreWeave. And right now, I do have an alert for Nebius from Neil.
InnoData.
I
You
think
heard
a lot
about
of us
it?
do. I don't know. I feel like I have. I feel like a lot of people have have kind of brought it up every so often. I think it has to do something with data software for data centers or something like that. Let me look.
InnoData. I wonder why it's called InnoData if they're into data. So,
it's an American that provides business process technology and consulting services. Okay, maybe not.
fake name.
Train and deploy industry-leading generative and traditional artificial intelligence. What's traditional artificial intelligence?
Traditional artificial intelligence. So there is untraditional and there is traditional.
And the traditional and traditional.
Makes total sense, I'd say. George, a thoughts on ATAI? I don't know. Stock trading at $2 that has been up and down like this. Smells like a company worth less than 100. Yeah, okay, $400 million. Atai Life Science,
Um,
pharmaceutical company, psychedelics. Yeah. What about SoFi? Any plans on increasing my position? No, I've increased it already quite a lot recently. So for now, no. And Jose will only increase his Nvidia position. Actually, he's been increasing
I
Google.
buy more than yeah, I buy more than just Nvidia. Recently, I bought Google. Um,
It seems like, yeah, Palantir is making its way back above 140 buckos.
Kevin agreed. Best of luck at work,
Have a
Kevin.
good day. Have a good
Uh,
day.
yeah,
We have 9
the
minutes.
rest of us have to suffer here with Neil.
9 minutes to go till the market opens. Then you can leave.
This is one
Sims?
it's seen a nice massive. Is it
Yes.
symbiotic? Is this the
Hmm.
robotic one? The one that yeah, it's seen a massive rally in the past
Also since April.
few since April, but even just recently, you see that those massive
Yeah.
candles there.
Nice
Um,
rebounds on the 200. Ding.
yeah, this is one that's it's been on my I need to do research on list for like the longest, Neil. I think you mentioned you were going to do. Some of your viewers were asking you about this one. Um, did you ever end up looking into it or doing a video on it?
Yet. No, because I don't know. When we're talking about that, I think just so many other things were happening at the same time. So never really looked into it because it should be very interesting. It's a company already close to $20 billion in market cap. So it's not like one of those small robotics play that might or might not work out. It's already $20 billion worth. So I guess there is something to look at. I guess there is something interesting behind that ticker for sure. Let's see. Sim.
Yeah,
Forward
sorry.
P
I
of
guess the heat
100,
is killing my
but
internet right now.
is it hot in the Jersey?
Insanely hot.
How hot?
I don't know. It feels like 100, I think.
Feels like 100 Fahrenheit, 2 Celsius. Ah, yeah, it's very hot. Jesus.
And I think it's going to get worse throughout the day. FF, hello, hello, hello.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon. Thanks for joining
Good
us for
evening.
the
Thanks for
market
joining.
open. That is almost close. Well, our open is almost closing.
Yeah.
So Symbotic, yeah, is expected to grow revenue quite fast in the upcoming years.
And I mean, they got. I've read a little bit. I mean, they do a lot of robotics for the industrial space, especially for kind of like the shopping side. They bought I think the technology from Walmart. Walmart ended up selling kind of their robotics platform, and Symbiotic bought them, and now has that kind of partnership with Walmart. But that's as much as I know about this one.
Yeah, warehouse automation systems.
Hmm. Yeah. So I mean, it's definitely interesting in a way where it's an actual robotics company that can definitely benefit from the evolution of artificial intelligence. They already have a massive big player, yeah, as a customer due to the acquisition and partnership with Walmart. So on the very top level, right, Neil, it seems attractive and it seems one that is interesting. I don't know. I haven't seen valuations and stuff like that, but the topic
100,
seems interesting.
100 time forward P.
Nice.
Yeah.
How about forward 1 year?
Um, I don't know. A little bit less, but not that much.
Not much.
No,
Oh well. Hmm.
no, because it's not like it's growing earnings 100% or so.
Yeah.
It's growing, but I think it's 60 cents in fiscal 27, so it's still quite a lot.
So Vindin says there's still one AI stock we hardly discussed there, and that's the old school boy IBM. IBM really is turning things around. It's
Yes.
wild. This has been a sleeper stock until recently.
Yeah, I mean, IBM was called a dead company, and now we're all-time highs. And
And this goes back exactly to kind of like that tech talk, like buying only one stock for 10 years. For me as a tech investor, it's in just a few years, you can go back from a dead company to and kicking and killing it in the AI space. I know they're focusing a lot in things like AI agents and AI server solutions as well. So um, they have quantum stuff, I believe, as well. So yeah,
yeah, I mean, they definitely
and
turned it around. They definitely turned it around. They seized the opportunity to actually revive
Mr. Dave
the
Silva
company.
says it's already 90 degrees here in Jersey. Maybe I lied to you, Neil. It's not 100. It's 90.
Okay, still quite hot. Still quite hot. I'd say it's a perfect day to stay either inside in the air conditioning or inside a pool that is very, very cold. I don't know if you have either, but this is my suggestion um, to you.
Wait, what was your suggestion, Neil?
I said it's a day you either stay inside with air conditioning or you go into a very cold pool.
Yeah, yeah. Those are some good suggestions. I see why people like you.
Thank you. I don't see it, but it's fine. Um, Visa. Someone asked here about a Visa. So yeah, could be.
BlackBerry's coming back also. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you click something.
BlackBerry is coming back. I think they also report today or tomorrow.
What are some failed companies that are coming back? We have IBM, we have BlackBerry. We don't have Intel, but some
Yet,
of us do have Intel.
don't have Intel yet. Um, Visa is interesting right now, very close to that 200 days. Seems like it might be rebounding. It's a very strong company. BlackBerry, let's see. BlackBerry was a meme stock, right? Back here, 2021. Look at this. Crazy. Meow. Meme stock
Wh- Which
BlackBerry.
which one? Not BlackBerry. Yeah.
Um,
Um,
but it was at the start of the year, it was at $6. So it went down quite significantly. Yeah. 55%. And then since the lows back in April, we are also up 55%. But yeah, BlackBerry reinvented itself, a software player now,
mhm.
security, stuff like that. So it's interesting, but it's not like I'm going to buy yeah, cybersecurity. But it's not like something I'm so interested in at the moment. Market cap 2.5 billion.
We got 2 minutes to market open. I'm looking at my trading list here, Neil. Well, my trading view list, and a lot of green. A lot of green. I'm pretty excited. I hope it just stays like this and it doesn't just trick us. But we
I mean, as
have
long as it's
AMD.
green when we're live, it's fine.
Yeah, we have AMD up almost 3%. Arista Networks had a 6% day yesterday. It has an extra 3% today. Micron up about 2.5%. Applied Digital up about 2.5. Navitas, not one that I follow too much, but that's up nearly 4%. And most semiconductor stocks are about 1 to 2% up right now. I think Google got a price target increase today too. And what is
by
Google
three
doing?
by $3, no?
Was it by $3?
I think I saw something, yeah, from 200
Hey,
to
Nebius is
203.
up
Oh, god damn.
3%. My
Um,
core weave is only up 1.5.
let's see what we have here for now before the market opens. Green across the board for Europe, green across the board for Asia. Pre-market still unchanged, I think, since the start of our stream. Um, wisdom. You're very welcome, Michael. Very, very
Yeah.
welcome. And so it is time to pull up the heat map and we'll see. We'll see what
Eventually
happens.
refresh. I wonder why
Yeah.
it takes so long. They can't pay for data. Jeez.
Yeah, trading view. Ugh. Let's see. Okay, much better. Much better.
Yeah.
Look at this green and dark green across the board. Oil companies taking a hit. Very good for the economy. Very bad for Jerome Powell, who doesn't want to cut rates.
And I lost my internet.
No, you're still here or not. I don't know. It's funny how someone can lose its internet, still talk, and then he
I'm
goes
still a
out.
robot, Neo.
You see, he's still here. I don't know if he hears me, but I hear him
I couldn't
sometimes.
hear you. Oh, you heard me? Okay.
Yeah, no, I
I'll
said
make
it's
sure not to say
interesting.
anything mean to you.
IBM is actually up to almost 3% right now. Ah,
Of
no, sorry.
course.
No, never mind.
Never
Never
mind.
mind.
See, you
It's
messed
back
it up.
down.
Thanks, Neo. Thanks, Neo.
Never mind. It's back down. Um,
Lies.
Now we actually have a little bit less of the green stuff. Let's see every single stock what we get here. So AMD up 3%. Now Jose is definitely gone and lost. Maybe not, I don't know. AMD up 3.3, HIMS basically flat. New holdings 2.5%. SoFi 2.3%. Amazon up a little bit as well. Tempus 3.1% up. Google flat, can't catch a break. Meta back above 710 right now.
Google needs to catch a break
But
soon.
yeah, or we were just throwing money into a fire, into a furnace. Robinhood 1.5, Intel 1.5, same as Nvidia because Nvidia and Intel are the same, so it makes
Don't
sense.
you dare say that. What? What?
Nebius is up 7%. What the heck? What is this sorcery? This is crazy. Even
That's
Micron is up.
lies.
That's,
Yeah.
that's nuts. Then
Hey, Uber's
AC,
killing it. Up 4.6%. Almost
yeah,
5.
I guess it's because of
Nice,
that
nice.
Volkswagen announcement as well, plus the Waymo
Plus the
in
Waymo.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, very, very nice. Very nice. She's a 10. You've got here another super chat, Jose, maybe to fix your internet.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, JJ, I'm gonna buy better internet thanks to you. JJ though keeps Neil. Any thoughts here? I don't really follow any of these names.
You got the super chat, you have to deal with it.
It's a group thing.
What do you think about the run up in AST and Rocket Lab? So let's actually switch over to this. So AST is up
Wow.
more than double in a matter of 3 weeks. Actually, since my video on YouTube, you're all very, very welcome. If you've made a lot of money, I do expect you to become a member of our channel or at least tune in every day when we stream. Greatly appreciate that.
That would be appreciated.
Yeah. It did rebound here just at the 200-day moving average. Sometimes it's very funny how these things work. But yeah, this thing went up double. There was a lot of momentum also with some partnerships and announcements. But I would still be cautious, even if you think this is going to be a very successful company. It's $16 billion in market cap. Doesn't really generate much at the moment. Lots of future revenue priced in for sure. So that's AST. Rocket Lab.
So pretty much too long. Don't read. Bullish in long term, but not in your risk to reward ratio at the moment with the massive rally up.
Yeah, no, it doesn't make sense until they actually generate money, like real revenue for a $16 billion company. I mean, I'm willing to put money in when it makes sense, but I have a limit. Rocket Lab is
Limit of
back
money or
to
limit of sense?
limit of ridiculousness. Rocket Lab is back here at all-time highs, so could be a resistance point right here at $33. This stock has also, of course, gone up quite a lot since the April low, so not since June. Although more recently we have seen it go from $25 to $33. Rocket Lab, I believe, is also now same market, a bit less than AST, but generates more revenue than AST at the moment. But as I said time and time again, AST higher margins in the future than Rocket Lab, but Rocket Lab right now to me just makes more sense. Although I'm not going to chase any of those two right now. I do own Rocket Lab, but I'm not chasing it at $33 for now.
You don't own the other one, Neil?
AST, no, I don't own AST. But it could have been one of those trades, but it literally ran up super fast. So again, not in the business of chasing. So yeah.
Except views. And that's how we end it.
Views and subs. Views and
views
subs.
And subs.
The usual Ronaldo comment. Been getting the same comments for the last 2-3 years. The same guy every single time.
Yeah.
If you haven't sold PayPal and Square, you're still on the wrong side of innovation. I strongly disagree. Strongly disagree. Maybe not on Square anymore, but strongly disagree on the PayPal side of the business. Just because you don't follow the company doesn't mean they don't innovate. And even if you assume that they don't innovate, cheap stocks are cheap and will go up purely because multiple expansions valuations make more sense when they're priced in higher. Last thing here, Oscar is apparently dropping.
It's wild.
I'm a Rocket Lab shareholder, and now I hope Neutron blows up first run to buy. I would be surprised if the first Rocket Lab launch, although it's not really a launch, it's just going to be the first test of its liftoff. I think a liftoff would be good enough. Not lifting off would probably crash the stock, and I'm also fine with the drop in the share price. Oscar is down another 6% today. Okay, fine. It went up over 30% over the last couple of days, and I do think that it got a downgrade today from an analyst. What is United Health doing today? Up $8.
You bought? Is it up? Nice. Neil,
Made
$1 and that trade.
Yeah, made $1. We're good to go. Thank you very much. We're closing the show. Finito. But yeah, we will be back, of course, tomorrow. Tomorrow, 8 a.m., we shall be back.
Maybe do Micron earnings preview, right, Neil?
We can do Micron earnings preview. We can do Nike earnings preview as well, because they report, I think, Thursday. I know, but apparently a lot of people are interested in Nike.
Non-tech, get out of here, Neil.
Yeah, Jose, you have to expand our reach.
No, I'm okay.
Our reach. That's why people join us. Hopefully they don't leave us. But yeah, thank you all for joining, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yep, appreciate it. Thank you.
8 a.m. Eastern. Adios.